If you want to get started in real estate with no money or very little money, this video is just for you. We're going to be going over step by step on how to get started in real estate, specifically wholesaling from point A to point Z, how you're going to get started and how you're going to sell the property without ever buying it and getting paid. My name is Maher. I'm a full-time real estate investor based out of Las Vegas. I'm 25 years old now, and I started this business when I was around 21 to 22 years old. And when I started, I didn't have a mentor or anything like that, so it did take me quite a while to get my first deal, around 6 months. But after I got that first deal, we've been consistently closing deals every single month. And around my second year in business, I was able to make a six-figure profit and over, and growing ever since. And this year, we're going to be closing close to around $300,000 in profit for the company. And just wanted to put some statements here to show proof that you guys know that I actually do this business and that we're actually making money, and I am the right guy to teach how other people can do this. So again, right here is Maher Capital. This is my LLC, and this video is recorded on May 18, 2025, and these are wires from 2025. As you can see here, this is an assignment that we did. It was a little over $100,000. I'm gonna teach you guys how to do deals like this. My very first deal wasn't this big. It was $25,000. It's still a crazy amount of money. And this was just back in March. And then in May, we also did another assignment fee. As you can see, these are from title companies right here. Tycor Title and Rock Title. These are two title companies out of Las Vegas. This assignment fee was $117,000. And then these ones right here were little assignment fees, but still very good assignment fees. All right. And then these are also some other flips that we are doing. So as you can see right here, we bought this property on March 7th, $161,000, and we went to go ahead and sell it for $240,000. And the reason I'm making this video is because honestly, it's super fulfilling teaching other people how to flip houses. And I'm looking, and I also am getting, benefited from this as well. I don't want to, beat around the bush. I am looking for partners that can help me find deals so I can go ahead and flip the properties. We can partner together and, buy these deals together and, split the equity and make money together. So I'm willing to teach, really anybody how to do this. And once you guys get started and learn how to do this, you're going to be able to make a lot of money. Because I remember how it was clocking in a regular job, working from 9 to 5 by the hour. It was a very, very stressful situation. I was always worried about bills and not knowing, how my life was going to grow. When I found this, I was super grateful. And I've just I hit the road running ever since. I haven't looked back. I think real estate, especially wholesaling, is the best industry to get into, and the money really in this business is endless. All right, so let's just jump right into it. So the very first step we're gonna do is we're gonna find buyers for these properties. And again, I'm also a buyer, so if you do have a deal in Las Vegas and you want to do business in Las Vegas, I can definitely be your buyer for this part. But if you guys are not in Las Vegas, I recommend going into your backyard, doing deals where you live. And if you're out of the US, then you're going to have to do deals in a different way. It's going to be called virtual real estate or virtual wholesaling. But for the guys in the US, I would recommend going in your backyard and doing deals where you live, specifically so you can go walk the property, meet the investors in person, and talk to the sellers in person, because it's going to be easier to close deals in person because you're building trust with the seller. There are a few requirements though. I would say if you're in a city that's smaller than 100,000 population, then go into the closest metro city that you can. And if you're in a super rural area, then again, you're probably gonna have to do what the overseas guys are doing, and that's gonna be virtually, just over the phones. Which is totally possible, just a little bit harder. So the very first step is you're going to want to go to a Facebook group. For example, I put it right here in parentheses, real estate investing, then your city. So for me, it'd be real estate investing, Las Vegas. And then what you're going to do is make a post on that Facebook group and say, hey, we're looking for buyers for our properties that we have coming up that we're looking to sell. And you're going to get flooded with comments and DMs with buyers reaching out saying, hey, I'm looking for deals. We want to buy these kinds of property, this and that, saying they really need properties. You're just going to get flooded with comments. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to ask the buyers for their buy box. And what a buy box is, it's basically a specific criteria for the properties that they buy. For example, my criteria here in Las Vegas is I buy any single family homes that are minimum 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and built after 1980. I don't like working on older properties, but some investors specifically like working on older properties because usually the older properties, they can get them for cheaper, more profit. So once you get that list of the criteria from the buyers, we're going to want to go to PropStream.com right here, and we're going to pull a list of all homeowners and properties that fit that specific criteria from the buy box. And I'm going to go over in another video on how I'll do a live on how we pull the list from PropStream. But it's going to basically give us a list, and then what we're going to want to do is skip trace that list. Skip tracing, all it means is getting the phone numbers for the property owners so we can call and text them. Then we're going to go to this next box, and we're going to call and text the homeowners asking if they want to sell. And this is probably the hardest part, is marketing to these homeowners. If it was easy, then everybody would be rich in wholesaling and people would be getting deals left and right. But I want to say 99% of the homeowners are going to tell you no, they don't want to sell, or they don't like your offer. And that's totally okay. We're going to do business with the 1% that wants the offer and wants to work with us. And even if we can do business with 1% of homeowners, we're going to be ultra successful in real estate. It's that simple. We don't need to work with every single homeowner. And since the margins are so big in real estate, that we really only need to get 1%. So, making 100 outbound calls per day should get you around 2 leads a day. Around 100 sellers should get you around 2 people that want to say, hey, yeah, I'll consider an offer on my property. That's the industry average. And if you are in a more competitive market, like California, for example, where the properties are higher, you might need to dial 250 sellers to get 1 lead. It's going to vary. So in cities where the property prices are very low, for example, the average home price is $100,000, you're going to be able to get more leads because the deal sizes are smaller. The average assignment fee in a place like Ohio might be $10,000, where the average assignment fee in California is $50,000. And obviously all of California is different, but the higher price point properties, the average assignment fee is going to be around $50,000. Usually it's around 10% of the purchase price. So once we call and text the homeowners, we're just going to ask the homeowner how much they want for the house. And then we're going to ask the buyer how much they want to pay for the house. And you might also get this information when you're asking them for the buy box. They're going to say, hey, in this zip code, we pay, X amount for these properties. And you're going to know when you go market to these homeowners, even before you even talk to them. Or I wouldn't really focus on numbers before you talk to a homeowner. Don't do any due diligence on a property when you're getting the list. Only do due diligence on a property when a homeowner raises their hand and says, yeah, hey, we want to sell and we'll consider an offer for the house. Then do due diligence. Don't waste your time doing, non-income producing activities. That's a really big problem I had in the beginning. I was comping properties just from lists, foreclosure properties. I would comp them before I would even call them to see how much I could offer them. And then 90% of the time, they won't even answer, especially with foreclosure. So you're going to want to ask the homeowner how much they want for the property. And then you're going to want to ask the buyer how much they want to pay, just so when you're offering the homeowner how much, when you offer the homeowner, how much the buyer wants to pay, so you can, put your $20,000, $30,000 profit in between. So for example, if the buyer wants to pay $300,000 and the homeowner wants to sell for $320,000, if the buyer wants to pay $300,000, the homeowner, you'd have to offer the homeowner $280,000 so you can make that $20,000 spread in between. So for example, if the buyer says, hey, I want to pay $300,000 for this property, you're going to go offer the seller $280,000 for the property, and then you're going to get that $20,000 in between. So that's really important to ask the buyer how much they want to pay, because so you don't offer the homeowner too much, and then you're going to have to go back and reduce the price. So then contract A is in between you and the homeowner, and once there's a verbal agreement between you and the homeowner, then send a written contract. Don't send anything in writing unless it's a verbal agreement, because you're just going to waste time. So once you have something verbal and they say, hey, yeah, we'll consider that offer, we'll take that offer, then write up the offer on DocuSign and send it to them. Then you're going to do contract B between you and the buyer. So there's only 2 contracts in wholesaling that will get you paid. Contract A, the purchase and sale agreement between you and the homeowner, and then contract B, the assignment agreement, the assignment contract between you and the buyer. And then once both of those contracts are signed, you're going to send both of those contracts to the title company, and on the day of closing, you will receive your assignment fee. The process is very, very simple, but it's a very competitive industry. So don't think it's going to be, very, very easy. You're going to make one phone call and make $20,000. I wish it was that easy. You will have to make a good amount of phone calls before you get your first deal. It's very possible. Don't get discouraged after your first couple of weeks in this business and you're just getting rejection after rejection, because trust me, it will pay off. It will pay off, and this is proof that it does pay off. Like, I don't think there's any other industry where you're going to be getting wires over $100,000, especially if you have a team. Right now, I do have a sales team, so this is not just me. A shout out to my team. They're very good. They get trained every single day. And we work on our sales skills every single day, every single week. So that's why we're able to get huge checks like this. And even if you're not good at sales in the beginning, you will get better. And the average assignment fee, again, I said, is like around 10% of the purchase price. So if you live in an area where the property is $200,000 and above, your average check will be around $20,000. And even if you are getting started, it's okay to go for the smaller checks, like the $10,000, $15,000 checks. Because those are going to be easier to get. Obviously, the bigger deals you're going to get, the more negotiation you're going to have to do, and the more marketing you're going to have to do to get those bigger deals. But I can definitely teach you guys how to do this, and I did kind of make a mentorship where I'll be picking around 5 to 10 people to hold their hand to build everything out for them, like the whole part, like find the buyers for them, pull the list for them, and tell them exactly which properties to pull and how to market to those properties. For example, like which text blasting software to use and what kind of dialers to use. Basically all the systems to grow a real estate business and to get your first deal. This is specifically for people trying to get their first deal, because that's honestly the most fulfilling part about teaching people how to do this, is getting somebody who has a regular job or isn't working right now, to get them to hold their first $10,000, $15,000 check is just insane. So there is a link down below. You can book a call with me. It will be with me, nobody on my team, and we'll see if we're a good fit, if we can come up with a custom plan to see if how we can help you get your first deal or even grow your real estate business. But yeah, thank you guys for watching.